But there's somewhere you will get fulfilled. You should ask this. So that's the reason why passion and commitment takes charge most of the time. To say, I will do my best, despite whatever. So always remember that. I've been told that you don't have enough time today to respect you. But how do you respect time? During examinations, I'm sure we all sat for a while. They will give you a sheet of paper and they will say, answer numbers 1, 2, 3, and 5 is optional. Then we had a teacher who knew the trick for it, and he said to us, this is what you will see on the day of the examination. But do something for me. Don't waste too much time on the 1, 2, 3 compulsory. No, 1, 2, 3 option. Take the compulsory ones first. Because whenever you do the compulsory ones to the fullest, you get a double mark on each one. Because it marks. So what he taught us was to prioritize. You need to prioritize time. Respect time. When I teach people art of speaking, I tell them the most important thing for you to respect is your microphone. Apart from the content that you must have. Because if you don't have content and you come out to speak, you hold the microphone and there's nothing to say. But yeah, we need to be assertive with managing time. When you use assertiveness in management of time, it means that you are disciplined. And you are disciplined towards yourself, internalize discipline, and then it comes up gradually. It comes up gradually. By the way, if you have not dropped yesterday's assignment, please try and drop it somewhere. Just drop it. It's important. Just drop it. Thank you. Some people have dropped their assignment. The question is, time tells a lot of time about itself. There was a singer, I use words for him, but I still use these sometimes. Bob Marley. He sang about time. And the interesting thing on that particular album was that that particular piece, didn't capture the essence of time. So years after, it was when people were celebrating him, he passed on. Then that particular track became very prominent. We were very active on radio then. And I remember, time was just, so it was like a ballad, very easy song. When you go through it, it's important. The world itself is timed. Our years and occupation here on earth is timed. And our job is also timed. The job of communication goes with a whole lot of time factor. You have 8 o'clock time news. If you miss it, it's gone. I know many people who lost their jobs because time was not important to them. It wasn't important to them at all. So, we now say this. Time management is the process of planning and exercising conscious control of time spent on specific activities, especially to increase effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity. In one file of the soup of this paragraph, it captures everything. What it says is this. You come to work every day. You have a list of to do. By the way, we'll get to that. Many people don't understand that. But you know that 12 o'clock or 12:30 you go for break. So you find some of us who will come in and look at the time. And what do? We try to pass the time and wait until 12:30 for the break. Now, at 12:30 you go for the break. You know you have to come back. When you come back, you are looking at the time of 3:30 to knock. In between those times, they are just there, they call them like saccades. The spaces seem empty, but something is happening, and you do not take notice of it. I'm always very passionate when I discuss time, because I paid a visit to a factory once, and that was very graphic. What like machines knew what to do at this point, so they are waiting. It's a time thing. When that is gone, it's what is the machine. He moves his hand like this, ready for the product to come. And the machine will come because it's been used. He just does his hand, nothing to cut on. He goes away. This one does the same. And this young factory worker didn't know the trick of that. That thing had used as final. And he thought that it was gone, and he put his hand there. The machine blocked itself. He lost his hand. Coming home, take your cue, and the radio is on or something to get you happy, and it says to you, you're all lined up, and the voice says it's 4 o'clock or it's 2 o'clock. Before they close the bank, okay, it's 2 o'clock. Check everybody on the line in front of you. You know what? The first thing they do? They do this. Everybody, you will hear the fall. They still instinctively check their wristwatches. And these days it's even easy. Your phone, you just do the thing, you're still checking. It's not that you doubt the voice, it's in us, in great. The time is key. And when it's time for the network news on NTA, and it goes 2-3 minutes past 9, 1 or 2 or 3 heads will roll. Yeah. Believe it. If you want to ask, call your friends and ask them. Our boss used to say, once it's time there, just sit down there, hit the time check, and let the music roll. Somebody must give the time check for the music to roll. And then the major program will start thereafter, but don't use the time check. Now what we're saying here is that for each of your activity, each one must be timed at work. Consciously or deliberately, time your meetings. You know, there's so many times we hold those meetings, And as I said here, I think it was even here I said yesterday, what do we discuss at those meetings? Program planning. We spend 40 minutes of 1 hour of the time to discuss. There's no toilets. There are no toilet papers. I came in yesterday, the receptionist did this for me. And it's a program planning. So by the time somebody wakes up, it's almost time. You find people leaving. You are not even discussing the crux of the matter. So here, you are being told or advised to exercise conscious control of time spent on special activities, especially to increase effectiveness, efficiency, and productivity. You know you have a time call for a general meeting, either with GM or your immediate boss, and it's time for 10 o'clock in the morning. You saunter in, and maybe, okay, you will try. You saunter in by 8:30. Okay? And between 8:30 and that 10 o'clock, you have not done the major things. The mind will not be at that meeting. You sit down at that meeting, you are looking like a boom. You cannot talk because your mind is, we've not edited this thing and it's going at 12 o'clock. It's true. But what stops you from coming in and editing those materials prior to the 10 o'clock meeting appointment? Please, let us, you see, this particular session, it's important to get it right. And please, stop me on the way, ask questions on the way, because you have to get it right. Now, it is also a process of dividing time between activities You have timed the particular activity of editing a piece of story, a story. But it's not the end. You are also going to time when the editing has taken place and when it will be used or adopted or inculcated in the major news bulletin. So the time does not only start from when you start the editing and then you go. No. Time the editing, time it. And then you move to the next one and you have to time before you get to the next assignment. You have to. But you know what? Many of us were also guilty until we began to learn to leave the communications industry for another business. And why I'm stressing this is because when we stepped out of it to do the other business, the time you lose is equal to the money. Thank you. Equal to the money you lose. Huge value. Not a small matter. Huge value. Somebody calls you for a meeting and is telling you before they come that I am traveling today to Abuja, but I will wait for you. Once you come in, I've told the accountant to get your check ready. And then you come because of all of your petrol or something, and then you are coming, as you are getting to the reception, they say, that's what that's going. He's going to the airport. The money you were expecting was to take cater for the salaries of people. They are waiting for you. They've not paid them for 1 or 2 weeks. Time. But we must learn to respect it from this stage. When you get to the outside world, it's something else. As I speak, you will recall or remember many of your friends who were not allowed to write their final paper. Final exams, they were not allowed to. Final aspect.
We heard this. What do you think? Is it saying something about you are not aggressive? You are passive? Let's move through it, please. In fact, knock it. If you don't agree, let's know when. Yeah, please, feel free. Anybody?
Because you came hard at me and you kept telling me to my face I was lying. And then you will hear this type of people was, no, I didn't say that. Is it the one? And they rushed me because telling me it was Mr. Tokumbo that actually retorted. People who are passive are not stupid. That's what this thing is teaching you. But those who are aggressive have ways of showing it. They probably have had it as a character, attitude, or a accompaniment of their capsule we carry together. Yeah. And so when you get to that, let's go. Why do you need to move here at all? I'll give you an example. When we are building stations back, we clamored for labor movement. And they allowed labor to infiltrate positively. So your issues will be tabled before government, in case things aren't going well, and issues will be tabled before the management. They were representing management and government. But I remember one year, the Honorable Commissioner for communication there, I can't remember, I don't jack on these lines, the man came one day and said he doesn't want to see any labor person from regulations. Nobody representing him was oh, that was we have issues. You know that the day he came to address there at the valley, it was a big deal. It was calling rooms. You came to us to beg for ABC and D on behalf of the staff. And you entered as if you were going to fight. You wore a warrior's cloak. You wore a beret. What's that beret?
We were actually looking for a name for the program. And because when he got up to talk, everybody started laughing. You know why? He's a natural comedian. So the first thing is, keep it a while. Do you understand? And he wasn't laughing. Really, he wasn't laughing. And everybody, okay, they handed the microphone over to him. And 2 syllables he gave, he wrote 2 syllables again, stood that program for 5 years. Stood the program for 5 years. Wow. In fact, it was a collective agreement. Nobody was able to beat it. So in our comfort zone, we should be able to use our antenna to discover. And by the way, that's part of coaching and mentoring. If you're an online supervisor, these are the things you must begin to understand will happen. So you can get an idea of how the system works. When the system works, it's for all of us to care about. Let me quickly move through this. We're looking at assertive leadership, and I like the way the leadership thing came. We didn't say leadership, so we didn't say assertive leadership. Now we took different points of view. Through Google, and why it has to be. Because by the second of the day, Google materials have been updated. Please don't deny that. Check that. With the date and the time. So a book that was written 4 or 5 years ago has gotten so many reviews over time on the same topic. Like us people who are deep, who understand exactly issues that are being discussed. Many of them don't take part in radio TV programs. Many of them just keep it to themselves. Many are online. A guy drops things on a particular frame of WhatsApp, which I'm involved in. And for 1 year, I was following this person. On that framework, I didn't contribute. But I knew his name. Very intelligent company. And I wonder how he got away with issues of SSS, because he just posts things and I walked into the supermarket one day to buy something. Because we are going to buy books. And this man next to me was asking for a receipt of the book. And the man said, what name camera is? And the man said the name. And I looked at him. And do you know what? I didn't know that about 1, 2, 3 people also heard that name. And they turned around to look at him. Everything is good. But please, understand you're limited considering. As I said,
what role will assertiveness play in the successful running of an organization?
Assertiveness allows for honesty, openness, okay, ability to share thoughts and ideas. It also embellishes the bonding that is expected between organizational employees and workers. It gives an opening to people working within to understand that to be assertive simply means you are telling the truth. Tell the truth with all politeness but firmness. You have to be friendly but firm, okay, to get things doing. The relationship between the bosses and the subordinates are usually tested in areas of assertiveness. The subordinates must know that they are in a position, okay, to create a lot more assertive opportunities where they can openly tell their mind, speak their mind, get things better done and achieved at the end of the day. The bosses also have the opportunity to let people know, working with them particularly, that I will walk my talk. What I say is what I hold on to. And you must be able to share the same with me. Otherwise, everything crumbles.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, how can a leader become assertive?
Could be assertive.
How can you?
Yeah, it's easy. All the things I've just said, but I'll tell you a little bit more. The story is that leaders that are not assertive, okay, are usually seen as not effective. Assertiveness comes with some efficiency, where at the end of the day they are also evaluated and assessed. If they are not able, okay, to create that aura of assertiveness, they are not firm, they are not bold to take decisions. It means everybody can do just anything and get away with it. And that's not the story to be told, particularly in a communications environment. A communications environment gives us the leeway to appreciate that nobody's going to box me in a corner. I have my own, and I'm going to say it. However, we need to think before we talk. That's why emotional IQ comes in. We need to think about what you want to say. You just don't get up and say something. Every time you get up to say, there must be some content to the message. So if you stand up to talk and there's no message or content, well, what are you talking about? You're blabbing. So I give it to the fact that we need to establish a better relationship, know when to say what you want to say, and be honest, forthright about it, and then we'll get on fine.
Okay, lastly, sir, you spoke about empathy. Because as a leader who is assertive, the leader has to be empathic too. Okay, so how can the leader ensure that this empathy isn't taken for granted by the subordinates or even the colleagues?
Yeah, you got it right. Part of my lecture said so. Empathizing with people is just normal. Everybody's got a feeling, human feeling, okay? And your ability as a leader is now to use the empathy and to equate it within your environment and be able to read what's happening to your subordinates. Some will be in very testy situations that they don't want to discuss with you. But because of the fact that you have tested yourself and you understand how it is, you can see yourself in other people and talk to them and let them know that, look, believe in me, what's wrong with you? Talk to me. If you don't, the job comes crumbling. So you create that kind of rapport and everybody gets along well with you and with the organization. However, empathy is not turning me into an ATM card or something, or a loans officer in an institute. I don't have the pressure, I don't have the wherewithal. Empathy is all about showing concern. We could get up and rise for your cause or to your cause, and we make sure that things work for you at the end of the day.
Thank you very much.